So I'm Coach T. Some may know me by Tyra. I rarely go by my name, Jatara, but that's just who I am. I guess I've just always wanted to do like a little documentary about myself, nothing too big, just to give people an insight on who I am. Like everybody knows me as Coach Tyra, but nobody really knows my past. I'm not really a person that likes to open up. It's something I still deal with today, which I see a lot of people deal with. I'm getting better at it as I get older, but I think from this video, a lot of people that look up to me or who I gained a bond with will really appreciate some things that I have to say. This isn't anything written. This isn't me coming out here and trying to do this for views. This is for me just to open up because I know someone else can relate and maybe dealing with some of the things I've dealt with growing up. So this is like 100% real. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota when I was 11 years old. Now I currently live in South Florida. I don't remember much. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I moved when I was really young, so my memories like fade in and out. I don't remember a lot. I was so young when I moved from Chicago. There's a lot behind that, which I still don't know all the answers to, but I just remember being young. I wasn't in a good neighborhood. I remember the gunfights, the gangs, the shootings. Outside of that, the friends and family would come together for like celebrations and gatherings, but on the flip side, my memories aren't that good. I go home and visit when I can every now and then, but it's not a thing that I think about often, that I want to do or even look forward to with my kids, I should say. I guess I just want to give them a different insight on life. Last thing I remember is just relocating to Minnesota. My mom's sister, my auntie, she moved first, and we moved a little bit after her, and my aunt's son was killed due to gang violence. And when we relocated to Minnesota, we started our new journey. So outside of that, I guess I'm thankful for relocating because I was able to move and get to a better environment. But on the flip side of that, we lost a family member due to gang violence, becoming a product of his environment. I moved so young, so from what I remember, it was okay. It was an easy transition. Like once you go to your new school and you meet a couple friends, you start to get comfortable. So outside of that, the environment was a big change. It was a major difference for us. I will say that. So that I am thankful for. The relocation definitely shifted our mindset, just to see something different from what we were used to. So. I grew up in a house with 3 sisters, so my mom has 4 girls. I didn't grow up with my biological father, but I had a stepdad in the household. Even to this day, me and my dad's relationship isn't 100%. I would say we talk maybe once or twice throughout the year. But I know I hear a lot of stories where people say, oh, mentally not having a relationship with your dad growing up can be tough. Yeah, maybe for some people, but for me, it doesn't really bother me. It's not that I'm nonchalant about it, but once I seen that quote, they said, how could you miss something you never had? I've never really had that bond with my dad to be like, oh, it's affecting how I am or it's affecting my lifestyle. Or it could be that I had a father figure around and I didn't think about it as much, so I kind of got to the point it is what it is. I don't really dwell on things that's out of my control anymore. It's never shifted my decision making or how I felt towards men or any of that. So anybody that is going through that, I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying for me in my situation, it never bothered me. I can't get on here and say that the people that do say, oh, they select a certain choice of man or they took a different route in life because they didn't have that guidance. That could all be true, but everybody's situation is different. So mine was a little different from you, Dad. It didn't bother me. It still doesn't bother me to this day. And I'm not saying in the future that we can't have a relationship, because I do have 2 young boys now that I would like to try to gain a relationship for their sake. But other than that, that's the story behind it. As I get older, I always question it though. Like, was it a decision to do because we needed to survive? Or was it just something to do because you need a big man in the streets and this is just your way of doing things? I guess I would never understand it. On the flip side, we had a roof over our head. We had almost everything we wanted. And in that situation, everybody's like, on the outside looking in and see all the things we're getting, but there's so much more that come from it. To have codes when you open your door, to have knocks, a certain knock when you open the door, always looking over your back. Just little things. Certain people that will talk in the streets and like know about who you're associated with, or who your family is, and that all becomes like a big issue. So, me personally, I wish that on no one. I always knew when I grew up that I would take a different route with my kids. I wouldn't have them around the things that I was around, or even share some of the things I've been through until now. Like, my kids are so mentally strong. I know everything I'm saying now, they'll follow my lead, because that's just who I am. They've never been around it. They've never been those kids that if they ask me a question, I say, no, I'm not telling you that. No, I tell them straight up front. Because in my eyes, the more you try to hide it and keep it away from them, they become more curious. So those one-on-one talks are needed. That's something that I didn't have when I was younger. I was always told, either grown folks are talking or stay in the child's place, which I agree with 100%, but it also depends on the situation. If there's something going on and the reality of it is that I'm a product of it, then I want to know. I want my kids to know. Just like everybody's saying, they're making it so acceptable now with this gender-based or gay thing or bisexual. Listen, my thoughts on it is we can't hide it from them. We can't hide it. So why hide it from them now? I don't want my kids to ever feel like they're in a situation where something becomes off guard or a shock to them. My boys are 12 and 8, and they're aware of everything that's going on around them. Now, do I sugarcoat it? Mental mindset of a child? Yes, I do. But do I hold it from them? No. Because I don't feel like the world is. The world keeps moving, whether you hold them back or not, it's going to keep moving. And I can't be with them 24/7. And I understand that. So all I can do is raise my boys the right way and pray that God watches over them constantly like He is now and guiding us through this coronavirus situation. And they'll be okay. I am a stronger believer that if you speak something into existence, it shall happen. So I try not to do that. So when I say my boys will be okay, I mean that. They'll be good. We'll throw it out and they'll be good. Basketball. I've had the love for basketball since I can remember, since my Chicago days. I was the only girl outside in the backyard playing with all my cousins and friends. The majority of them was boys, so I had to do what I had to do. If I wanted to go outside and have fun, I had to fit in. So basketball is my thing. It's still my thing to this day. That's why I got that name, Coach T, and I'll live by it. That's what I'll live by. Because at some point, mentally, basketball was all I had. Growing up, my mom had severe asthma. She had a drinking problem. To be honest with you, to this day, sometimes a person that has a battle with anything or any addiction will be in denial about it. And that's just anything in life. And to this day, she still deals with it. I love her and I wish our communication was better, but that's something that has really shattered my relationship with her, shattered my bond with my mom. Because I always felt like that her drinking was put before us. Like, in my head, I can never put anything before my kids. So when I say I learned so much growing up, that's part of what I learned. And I always felt like no matter how sick my mom got, how much she was in and out the hospital, whether we stayed with family member or neighbors until she got better, she would always get out and run back to the bottle. And I would always question that, like, how could you put yourself in a situation knowing how it's affecting your kids and just have no care about it? So growing up, I've learned to accept it now. It took me almost 30 years, but now I'm to the point like, hey, that's who she is. And I'm not trying to be harsh about it, but it's either going to make her or break her. She's going to live by it or die by it. And that's the harsh reality of it. There's only so much your body can take, and there's only so much a person can take mentally before they step back. I won't say I'll never give up, and I love my mom with all my heart because she was the one there for me, but at the end of the day, when you pick the phone up and you hear the liquor on her breath, it's the tone in her voice and how she's slurring, it all brings back those flashbacks, and I just mentally, I can't handle that. That's not even something I'm strong enough to talk about right now, so I kind of keep it brief and move forward. Outside of the environment I was in, I never wanted to be this kid that had a bad rep or known for something that I'm not. No matter what I'm around, the drinking, the smoking, the hanging out, the sneaking out, that was never a part of me. When I got a little older and got into the boys, and I guess that shifted my mind a little bit, but outside of getting in like trouble and like being violent or stealing, that was never me. That's still not my thing. I would never be into anything like that. In that moment, having a gun on you, like, you just never know how you react. No matter how much training, how mentally strong you are, you just never know what the outcome will be. Thankfully, all they took was my bag, my money, and then take my car and left me with a busted lip. And from that, I've learned so much. But I also learned to retaliate. No matter how you feel in that moment, or your emotions all over the place, or how your family may feel, you're just gonna dig a deeper hole. You're just gonna dig a deeper hole. There's always something that come out of something when you go back at it with something. So I'm not saying I left it alone, but I removed myself from the situation. Of course, I found out who it was. Of course, I was upset. Of course, in that moment, I wanted something to be done to them. But being who I am, I would never put my family in jeopardy. I was robbed in front of my house. So if I had my family retaliate and go to them, what do you think they're coming back to? My mom, my sisters, my family. And then a week after that, my cousin was robbed by the same person. So they were already watching us. Like, they had pretty much everything they needed to know how we move, where we live, the things we do. So it could have been 10 times worse. And all these are the little things that, by far, I'm this angel, this perfect person, but I don't think I've done anything in my life that will like haunt me or catch up. I was never that person. I was a good girl. I was a little rough. And a friend, but I was a good girl. So to hop right into high school and college, high school was good for me. My senior year, all I did was work. Like, I had my credits already. I was good. I was good. Like, I was focused. Basketball kept me like right on target. So if you're into sports, stick with it. I'm telling you, like, that was my number one thing that kept me from getting off track. And then college, I would say, when I got to college, I started off strong. Like, I played basketball in college. My studies were good, and then my mom started like getting sick again. So mentally, like I was still out of it. Like I was kind of going back and forth. I would drive 3 hours back and forth because my mom helped me get a car. So I would drive 3 hours back and forth to school like every other weekend. And then it eventually came from me driving back every other weekend to staying at home longer. So I kind of took a little time off. And when I got back into it, that's how I ended up in Florida. Friend from Minnesota. In the midst of staying, I got into a relationship. And along came Jay. My intentions were to go there to play basketball, but all of that kind of got put on hold. Do I regret any of my decisions or anything I've done in life? No, I do not. Because I believe everything I do is a lesson, and if you don't learn from it, then it shall come up again. So I've learned from that. And like I said, my boys are everything to me. So everything happens for a reason. Maybe in that moment I was needing that redirection, and that's what I got. To go a little farther into it, I got online schooling to finish everything off. And to this day, making this video, in between everything that's went on, I did move back home for a couple years, but now I am back. And being that I'm back, I am still currently with Jalen and Jalo's father. So we took a break to make it right, and I guess it was in God's will. We matured, and now we are on the right path. I'm currently a job coach in the classroom, and I love what I do. Outside of everything else, I knew I wanted to grow up to do something that involved helping people. I've always wanted my own youth program, and I would give people a second chance, whether it's someone that was having a hard time getting work from petty crimes, or someone just in the need of making extra money, or someone that genuinely loves to help people and just never had the opportunity to. So I've always wanted like my own youth program, whether it was helping out the school, whether it was to be for extracurricular activities, to do food drives, for clothing, like for shelter. So from that, I'm finally making my first step now here in Florida, although it did start in Minnesota, and it was called Shaping a Bond, which was doing really well. Before I moved to Florida, which was a big decision, I started a group called Shaping a Bond. And every weekend I would go to the inner city parks and help the kids less fortunate. I would just feed them, play games, and spend time with them. Because mentally you never know what a person is going through. Sometimes people just need time. Not the money, not all the glamorous things you try to give them, not being yelled at all the time. Sometimes they just want time, and that's pretty much what I did. I fed them, I gave them rewards for grades, whether it was shoes or clothes, and I did all this out of pocket. I never really share a lot of the things I did and how I done it, because it's not what I want to be remembered for. I don't want people to look at me and say, oh, she's just doing this for that reason, or doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I love it and I have a passion for it, and that I wouldn't change. And I know a lot of people play and they say, oh, if I win the lottery, I would do this, or if I come across a lot of money, I would do this. And everything that I do in life and every decision I make, I always question how it will benefit the next person or the people around me. That's just who I am. But I am starting my own program, basketball program. It's called J&D Hustle. And right now I am getting a lot of support. When people see your passion, or they know you're genuinely trying to do something for a great cause, the following will come. You don't have to try hard. You don't have to go out. They'll find you. Like it comes to you naturally. So I thank everyone around me, everyone I cross paths with in life. I have no regrets. Like, I've learned something from everyone, even if it was a simple hello for me to say, oh my God, that guy was nice, or this woman was real respectful. I take something from every situation. I try to install it in the people around me. Most people would say like I laugh and I joke a lot, but some of that laughing and joking has been pain at one point. So now that I've grown to balance that, I can genuinely say that I'm a happy person. I can't dwell on the things outside of my control, but I know that's easier said than done. There's a lot of people that deal with anxiety, depression, or dealing with illnesses or sicknesses, or lost family members, or just battling financially, that just needs a second chance, or just someone to be there. I know I can't be there for everybody, but if I can change one person in this world and that person takes on my legacy and do what I'm trying to do and change the next person, then it's a train effect and it'll keep going. That's how I look at it. And in my head, I can change everybody that cross paths with me. That's what I want to do. And in this world we once called normal, or that was our number, normal, is needed. We may have a new normal soon. But whatever that normal may be, you just got to make the best of it. Because while I'm sitting here making this video, and the people that's watching it, there's somebody else that's out there that wants to tell their story, or that doesn't have access to the people I have, or is just battling for their life right now. So I've learned to take nothing for granted. I can't. I've never been one of those people that didn't know my purpose in life. I've always known my purpose. It's just I had to figure out a way of going about doing it and delivering it. And even to this day, it's not so much me saying it, and even having my purpose, people see it before even asking me that question. And they understand that my purpose is the passion I have to help others, or to put the energy and the knowledge I have to making someone else better. That's my passion, no matter what it is, on and off the court. If you cross paths with me, I just want you to be a better person. I'm not one of those people that look down on anyone. I don't have all the glamorous things, all the money in the world. But I do have mental balance and strength, and that's enough sometimes to help me get by. Everything you do in life is your learn from. If there's not a lesson, then what's your purpose? That became my therapy. And even to this day, I don't think that will ever change. And I pray to God that He keeps me balanced. Role models in my life, that's easy for me. My auntie Connie and my sister Kiana. Even to this day, I don't know if they've ever even heard me say it, or the little things they do. And anytime you feel the need to sit down and talk, just do it. Nobody's in a situation to judge anybody else. I appreciate it. And this is Coach T checking out.